Hello, everyone. We are live. Good evening. I'm happy to be here. I am always happy to be here. Trust me. Irrespective of whatever it is happening, I am always happy to be here. And I hope that you're happy to be here as well. We're learning from each other. Don't forget, I believe in your journey and I'm rooting for you. And I'm on your table as well. So my name is Funmilola Williams. I am the lead coach at the Informed and Reformed Teens Academy. It is an online academy for mentorship of girls. Just girls. Yes, I love girls like that. I'm passionate like that. So we, by the grace of God, we have a curriculum we want your daughters through to help them navigate and transition easily into becoming an adult, and even before becoming an adult, into being that teenage girl that God is proud of, into being that teenage girl that you yourself, they are proud of themselves too because of the choices and decisions that they are making. So that's what we do at the academy. And I'm always happy when I come here to talk to you, to share with you insight based on my most of these things that are based on my dealings, my experiences with these teenage girls. So please do well to write them, letters in the corners of your heart because it will literally help you. All right, today I'm going to be talking about something very very important, because when it comes to girls, you have to, if you don't start early, it might cause a detour in the journey of a girl. And I say this from personal experience. So please, dear parents, we're talking about, and I'm working is a guy, what I'm doing today, I should be charging for it, but I will still charge for it here, but not in that manner, because I'm actually working on a guide, and this is excerpt from the guide that I want to talk about. So it's calling it teen girls guide to purposeful living. So we're not just living anyhow. We're not just, there's a word we use, anyhowness. We're not just an anyhowness kind of people. We're not just doing things anyhow. We don't behave anyhow. We don't do anyhow. There's a way, purposeful living. So how do you get your teenagers to live purposefully? How do you get your teenagers to be on track and stay on track? There's one thing to be on track, is another thing to stay on track. How are you gonna get your teenager to stay on track? Trust me, I've seen girls at very tender ages that they struggle with a lot. I've seen girls at very tender ages that they wish that they had chosen better. I've seen girls at tender ages that they wish that they had done things differently. So how do you raise yours to to be on track and then be purposeful? But whatever purpose is to you. To me, I've come to understand that purpose is your life being an influence to others in whatever capacity. You're not here for yourself. If everything you're doing here is just about you, just about your immediate family, my son, my daughter, my husband, my blah blah blah, and that is everything, that's not purpose. God didn't call us here to just come and be by ourselves alone. So begin to, Instagram live just a couple of minutes ago, that you need to be selling these visions to your teenage girls. You need to be selling this vision to them. Sell it early enough. If you don't sell it early enough, it becomes a struggle as they grow. Because the more they grow, what they call it now, the more they have other life what's the word I'm trying to look for now? Life narrative sold down to them. So that law of first mention, that law of first impression, please ensure that you're the one, fulfilling that law, not an outsider. Get your teenage girls here to understand that life is not just meant to be lived anyhow. Life, if your girl understands it, there are some decisions that she will never take. Trust me, the earlier we start, the better. And if there's something I've said before, I'm going to say again, don't say because you didn't know this at your age. I mean, when you were them, you didn't know this when you were younger, you made mistakes, you did this, that, and because of that, you do not have the local standard, as it were, to have these conversations with your daughters. Please, this is a lie from the pit of hell. You are there to guide them, no matter your mistakes, no matter your errors. You are there to guide your daughter to ensure that they do not make the same mistakes. If possible, I've always said it, teach from your mistakes. Not if it's possible, it is possible. Teach from your mistakes. It will guide them so that we can minimize it at least. All right, so how is a girl going to have a guide to purposeful living? Number one, self denial. This is very important. Your teenage girl has to understand self denial. Self denial is that, you of course, just as it implies, is doing that, you save pleasure for later. That's it. Save pleasure for later. Whatever pleasure miss your teenage girl, save it for later. Self denial. This is a lesson that has to be taught early. So if you're not teaching it yet, please, how do you teach it? For example, you want to watch a movie, you want to cook, you want to tidy the house, of course, the movie should be last. Saving pleasure for later. So if you are watching live, please, I'd like you to put in the comment section, saving pleasure for later. His number one guide to purposeful living. Let your teenage girl know. Let them understand that you can't always have everything now. If there's something that is killing girls the most, is that this now, everything is fast and furious. Everything's got to be now. I need that phone now. I need that dress now. I need that clothes now. Everything now, 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 now. Life doesn't happen that way. Life is not programmed to be in that manner. So your teenage girl has to understand this. And who's going to help her understand this if not you, the parent? So you have to begin to make her understand this principle of self-denial. They need to deny themselves a lot of pleasures, a lot. I know there is a lot of things battling for their attention, battling for this, battling for that. But it is your duty, it is your work, it is your responsibility as a parent to know that what, it's either you enjoy it now and then you go and now do that purpose later. But you know what? He always comes back with it then. So it's better that they do it now. Let them do the work now. Then let them save the pleasure for later. So begin to sell it to them. These things you sell, about the way you market because you believe in it. So if you really believe in saving pleasure for later, you need to market it to your teenage girl so that when they choose to do pleasure first, you begin to redirect them and be like, no, this cannot work. This is not how this is meant to be. You should be doing this at this time. At this time, rather, this is what you should be doing. So self-denial, they're gonna because you know what, life is gonna do anyone that is ever gonna see. Let me tell you, see what I know, right? What I know of life is that life is gonna make demands. It's gonna make demands, and if you are someone that wants pleasure at all costs, wants pleasure at all times, you will not be able to answer to the demands of life. Your teenager will not be able to stand. She's not going to be able to stand. She will fall like a pack of badly arranged cards. So that's why you need to make them understand on time that yes, they need to do what? They need to be able to say no to self denial. They need to be able to say no. I got in from work the other time and then it looked as though this head was going to get removed. But there are things I needed to do. So I had to know, as tired as I was, as whatever as I was, I still finished, what I needed to do before I now go back to what it is that represents pleasure for me. So this is the things I begin to teach early. Begin to teach it early. It's not going to jump on them. Otherwise, you have girls struggle. You have girls struggle. You have girls who are not able to cope when it going gets tough, as they say. So that's what's going to happen if you do not teach these things on time. So please, dear parents, it is your duty, it is your work, it is your responsibility to teach your girls. They have to do self-denial a lot. A lot. It will still come. That pleasure, that time, that whatever, that time of flexing, whatever they want to do, the time will still come. But they need to deny themselves now. And how do they begin? It's simple, simple things scheduling the most important things forward, doing the most important things forward, putting the most important things forward. Gradually, they are learning to subject their flesh, they are learning to subject their appetite, they are learning to subject their desires to a more worthy cause. That's the sign of someone that's going to live a purposeful life. All right, so the next one that you want to do, self-appraiser. Anyone that wants to live a purposeful life must be able to appraise himself. You don't need any. See, when I'm lagging behind, is it lagging? Lacking? I think it's lagging. When I'm lagging behind, I don't need anyone to tell me. I know. I know. I don't need anyone asking me. I don't need anyone saying, of course, am I saying that accountability is not important? By all means, no. What I mean is when you're not doing what you're supposed to do, you will know. And when you know, what do? You sit up, you adjust. Because you know that if you're going to make anything happen, you can't afford to lie to yourself on the table of self-appraisal. So if you are watching me or if you're watching the replay, I'd like you to put in the comment section. If you want to make anything happen, you can't afford to cheat yourself with self-appraisal, self-appraisal, self-evaluation. This is you. Sit with yourself. Sit with yourself. This is me. Me, Funmilola. Me, this, me, that. What am I about? What do I need to do? What do I need to adjust? What do I work on? These are conversations that you begin to have early with your teenage girls so that it doesn't become a struggle. Have you seen people that run away from themselves? They can't be by themselves. I've seen people like that. And sometimes I say to myself that the times I cherish the most are the times I'm with myself. Because that's when I'm able to really think and be like, okay, what's going on? When you look into yourself in the mirror and then you tell yourself the stark truth, the naked truth, self-appraiser. All of this is going to help you on your purposeful living journey. Because by the time, of course, you're sitting with yourself, you're not just sitting with yourself to play Ludo or play to play taekwondo or whatever. You're sitting with yourself to be able to appraise and assess yourself that, okay, based on these things I said I want to do, based on these things that I have done so far, or this one that I didn't do so well, where do I need to balance? So that's what I call sitting with self. Sitting with self. A lot of people avoid it. Adults avoid it. They don't want to be by themselves because I don't know. Maybe because the picture they're going to see, they're not going to like it. But can your if your teenagers do this early enough, they cultivate this habit of sitting with themselves early. You know, teenagers say things like, "Oh, I am bored," and I say it's fine to be bored. It's perfectly okay to be bored. It's from being bored that brings nothing beyond the bored. You are thinking beyond, okay, now that I am bored, what can I do? They begin to go inside. You begin to go to look into yourself to bring treasures that you didn't even know you had. But if you don't sit with yourself, how are you gonna know? Sometimes I'm just there by myself and things are just flowing and I'm just writing. It may not make sense immediately, but I'm just writing, I'm writing. I know the more you're writing, the more you're putting flesh to it, the more it is making sense. So teenagers need to learn how to sit by themselves. They don't want to be alone by themselves. They just want to be there. They just want to be everywhere except with themselves. Come on. You know, I said to myself, I said, you know what? You are the only one living with yourself. So you owe yourself that. At least if you deceive everyone, you can't deceive yourself. So teenagers have to learn this early. If they learn it early, it makes it easy for them on their purposeful living journey. It makes it because they will know when they are falling off track. They will know when they are going off the radar. Sitting with self is very important. If your teenager is going to live a purposeful life, if she's going to live a life that will not just be every other girl there, if she's going to make a difference, if she's going to make a mark, she must learn how to self-appraise. She must learn how to sit with herself. I said to him, I said, you know what? Sit down with me. Now, you sit down with yourself rather, then ask yourself these questions. Do this means does how I mean this one that I have done, this one that I have not done, that's self-appraisal. And you know what? This thing, there's this culture of when you start things early, it becomes a part of you. And these are the gaps that we had in our own times. These are the gaps that we had in our own times that caused a lot of struggle, a lot of issues for a lot of us. So now that's why we're bringing these teachings now, so that we can do different, so that we can do better. Let us. It's not every time. I mean, there are times that you just drop your phone. It's not every time your teacher must be on her phone. That's if she has a phone anyway. It's not every time she must press. She's sleeping, she's pressing phone. She's working, she's pressing phone. No time to sit with self. No time to sit. They will struggle as adults. And that's why most adults, it's fine to be bored, it's okay. Oh, these ones too say that when they say that they are bored, I say, go and think. Go and, it's okay to be bored, honestly. So when you're bored, when you're done being bored, you then go back that, okay, what can I do? What do I want to think of? Then you let your imagination roar. That's where ideas come from. I'm not saying that it's going to be easy. Sitting with self will not is not easy. Sitting with self will not jump on you. I said adults to struggle, but they can start doing it, in bits, in batches. 10 minutes with self. And you know what? To make it interesting, when they're done, you can ask them, what did you think of? What are your thoughts? What thoughts came to your mind? What do you think you can improve on? Or where are the areas that you think that you are struggling? You know, as you are doing that, other thoughts are popping into our head, other things are popping into our mind. Self appraisal for anyone that will make a difference must be able to sit with yourself. You must be able to tell yourself the truth that no one will tell you. You must be able to tell yourself, you must be able to encourage yourself. There are times that you have felt like I'm not going to take a step further, but I'll just sit and be like, oh, self-appraiser. That's where you get that strength from. That's where you get that strength from. So begin to teach them early. It doesn't have to be for long. No. If your daughter is 10, your daughter is 12, maybe 10 minutes, in a day, gradually they begin to build on that. And then the more they build on that, the better they become. You'll be shocked. And when they are going on that self-appraisal, please tell them, let them go with their bio and their, what's it called, their diary. That's one thing that is very, very, very important. Let them go. Thoughts will come to them. Thoughts that will set them apart will come to them. Thoughts that will trust me on this. Thoughts that will, it was in one of those. It was one of those self-appraiser mode. Then my daughter came to say, "Mommy, you know what? I think I want to be doing this in my school." I said, "Oh, really?" Then she went to her principal, and then they said, "Oh, it's okay." And then they have started. So things will come to them. Things will allow them to be bored. It's fine. If they sleep off there, it's fine. It's very okay. They're just starting. But for anyone that will do purposeful living, you can't escape this. You can't escape say, how do you want to do it? How will ideas come to you? How will thoughts come to you? And you know what? There's a peace that comes with knowing that you're doing what you should. The pressure doesn't get to you. You know, a lot of times I don't know. I don't know how else to say it. But there's some pressure that don't get to me. They don't. They don't. Not because I don't see them, but because I'm like, this is not my problem. This is my problem. Can I face it? That's it. So tell me how that kind of a girl that grows up thinking that way, tell me how she's going to be easily swayed into the wrong stuff. It's a mindset thing. So number one, I mentioned self-denial. Your daughters must learn how to deny, say no to save pleasure for later. That's what we're saying. That's what I say here. You save pleasure for later. Do the things I need to do, then go back to the pleasure. Self-denial, self-appraiser. The next thing is self-sabotage. Sabotage is not in the sense of what we think. Sabotage is in even hiding. I'm currently reading a book, and then the author is trying to talk about this self-sabotage of a thing. That the way self-sabotage works is you think that I can't do this. But somehow, what your mind is telling you is that I don't want to be this thing. Because why? There is a perspective to people who are like this. Let me give you a clear instance. For example, everybody hates to be poor. But why is that everybody talks bad about people that are rich? And then because everybody are, especially if you are rich, you have done rituals, you have done this, you have cheated, or you have this, or you have that. That is a perception. So because of that perception, you're now telling yourself that I don't want to be rich. That's self-sabotage. That is what it means. So trying to inhibit yourself because you don't want to fit into a particular coloration that people have put out there. That's their business. That's self-sabotage. So any girl that will do purposefully must be ready, must be willing to conquer self-sabotage. I'm going to tell you how it's important now. So when a girl starts to put herself out there, when a girl starts to want to project herself out there, when a girl wants to start to say, I am here, listen to me, let me tell you what will happen. They'll tell her she's proud, she's too audacious, or she's this, she's that. Who agrees with me? And because the girls want to be liked, don't forget. Girls want to be liked. Girls want to be accepted. Girls want to feel among. So because she doesn't want to be seen as audacious, she doesn't want to be seen as proud, she doesn't want to be seen as bossy, this, that, and then she begins to shut down that part of herself that will propel her into that thing that she should be. That is self-sabotage. That is what it means. So you're not going to let your daughter do that. Anyone that must do purposeful living must be able to bring down self-sabotage to the barest minimum. So people are still going to say whatever they're still going to say. But are you going to shut down your own light so that to feed the insecurity of other people? That's not your business to feed their insecurity. It's not your work, it's not your place to feed their insecurity. So you need to begin to teach your daughter. You begin to help them on this. And girls do it a lot. Oh, I still struggle with it. I am not even gonna lie. Because I don't want to be. Sometimes I tell myself, oh, am I sure? Can I? They will say this, they will say that. And because I don't want them to say this, I don't want them to say that, then I begin to shut down the part of myself that is able to add value to people. Do you understand? That is self-sabotage. So most people, we don't, there's a conscious part of us. There's an unconscious part. It is even our unconscious part that does these things. We don't even know that we're doing them. So this is why we have to be deliberate about these things. Because we're not raising girls to just be there. We're raising girls to at least make a difference. We're raising girls to at least do something different. So how are they going to do that when they keep thinking of what, they will say girls that do that. Girls that do that. For example, let me bring a very popular, the one that people say a lot. When a woman is out there in the upper echelons of the corporate world, the misguided thinking is that, oh, she has slept her way up. Do you understand? Yeah. So because of that, because she doesn't want to be seen as having slept her way up, so she begins to shut down herself. She begins to underperform. She begins to underdo so that she's not tagged. But anyway, at any rate, you're still going to be tagged. You're still going to be. So it's better to be tagged and get the job done. Be tagged and get the job done. Be tagged and get the job done. So any girl that must do purposeful living must conquer this self-sabotage early. So that I began to see sides to my daughter that I have not seen before. And I'm like, oh, really? So you need to help your girls. You need to help them. Oh, it will come out in conversations. And mommy, I don't want them to think I'm too forward. Do you understand? That's self-sabotaging. Let them think you're too forward. It's their business. That is self-sabotaging, and that's where it starts. And something like, I don't want them to think that I'm the only one that's always talking. Why not? If they don't want to talk, you go ahead and talk. So that's why I'm saying this in example so that you can get what I mean by self-sabotage. So that your girl does not what's the word now? Does not dim her lights, as it were, because of nuances of people. Because people will always say whatever. So am I going to say, because people will say this, people will say that, and I'll really now shut down for the few or for the many or whoever it is that I am sent to? No, I'm not going to do that. So it's up to you. Whatever you say, it is sincerely up to you. So, dear parents, if your girl must live purposefully, start tackling self-sabotage early. 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 Especially if your child is phlegmatic, especially if your child is melancholic. You need to work extra. If your child is sanguine, if your child is choleric, you might not struggle. Yes, that is it. That is it. Trying to deflect yourself, trying to push down your light so that they will not say it is. I know that's how it starts. That's how it starts. They begin to build on it until they completely go off the radar. Come on, we're not raising girls that are going to go off the radar. So that is it. So if she says, she comes to say something like, Mommy, they will be saying, let them say. Then you tell them that that's probably because you're the only one. So that's how to kill that. For any girl that will do purpose, oh, you must be able to kill self-sabotage. All right. The next one that any girl that wants to do purposeful living must do, you have to learn self-regulation. This is where girls struggle. One of the places rather, girls struggle in a lot of places, but they struggle in this the most. Self-regulation. What is self-regulation? The ability to put yourself under control. Do what you should without prompting. With minimal promptings. Girls struggle. Oh, girls struggle with self-regulation. So you're going to help them. And how do you help them? Begin to build their executive functioning skills. That's the only way to help in this area of self-regulation. What are their executive functioning skills? Their working memory, organization, time management. Begin to help them in these things. It won't jump on them. For example, now where we are, the schools are resuming tomorrow. So you can just go like, okay, what do you need to get ready for school? That's you prompting, you're jump starting. So the minute you do that, she goes, okay, 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 okay. Then gradually. Or you get to a particular place, you see that it's not area. What do you think we can do to this place? Then, okay, okay. So what are you doing? You're working the executive functioning skills. The more you do that, the more it help them to self-regulate. Without proper executive functioning skills, anyone will struggle. Have you seen adults that struggle with the things they need to do? They quite know that they need to do these things, but the motivation is just not there. The drive is just not there. Why? Because the part of the brain that controls the executive functioning skills is totally dead. So what deadens is a conversation for another day that we're not having today. But you can begin to help your own teenagers now. And this is how to help them. Help them. So it's not about really shouting at them. It's not about really, I know that sometimes they want to, sometimes I say to myself, the things that you do, the things that can really make I know they do those things. But because you want to help, so because you want to guide, that is what is pushing you. Because you want to raise a daughter that's going to add value. That's why you don't get tired. So, self-regulation, I have just told us now, girls struggle a lot. Girls struggle. That's why in schools, it's the people that submit their assignments late the most is girls. Go and find out. Go and find out. The people that get their task in at the last minute most is girls. Go and find out. Why? Self-regulation thing. So how are you going to help them? I've told us. Help them build their executive functioning skills, their time management, their organization, prompt them. Let them show you. That's what when I saw that my daughter was strong with a lot of, I said, give me your schedule. Then at the end of the day, no matter how tired I am, no matter where I am, I'll say, okay, what's on your schedule? What have you done? What have you not done? You're jump starting the process gradually. Don't forget you have time. So you have 18 years, depending on the age of your daughter, but at least you have 18 years from 0 to 18. You have that long. So that is the time to begin to work on that. Otherwise, you have a teenager in your hand that will have potentials, and that's where they will just be potentials. And you know that we want to move beyond potentials. We want to move into doing. We want to move into, because there's so much that they can do. So much. Just this week, I gave the I gave task out and said, you know what, by Friday, if you're able to deliver on this, on this, on this, on this, and I'll just send prompts, send reminders, and then they will just move. So that's how you need to do to help your teenage girls. Otherwise, they will never be able to meet up. They will never be able to. And as I say, the way that the world that we're praying them for, the world that they are going to, is not the world that will take excuses. You get to work when you are when you get to work when you're late. There's penalty for it. You keep doing that, then you know that that job is going. So how are we going to help them? You're a part of a team, you're not able to take initiative. Of course, they will take you out of that team. Or you're part of a team, every other person is not motivated, they're not energetic because of you, they'll take you out of that team. Or you have something you want to offer, but because you're not meeting deadlines, you're not meeting targets, you're not able to, no one will take you serious. So that is why self-regulation is very, very, very important for any girl that wants to do purposeful living. So the next one I want to talk about, self-kindness and grace. This is very important. Let me tell you why it's important. See, there will always be somebody better. I have come to understand that there will always be somebody better than your daughter, and there will always be somebody that your daughter is better than. Can we accept that? Most parents have not accepted that. There will always be somebody better than your daughter. Then there will always be somebody that your daughter is better than. So whichever your daughter is, whichever side of the divide that your daughter is, can she extend kindness and grace to herself? Can she not browbeat herself too much? Because see, you're still I think it's just dawning, that you are really living with yourself. You're living, so don't be too harsh on yourself. Are you making efforts to be better? Are you trying to be better? Are you actively trying to be better? That is what should matter. That is what the concern should be. So anyone that will do, because there will be times, let me tell you the story of, this is in the scriptures, David. So one time everybody is ailing. Then the other time he said, I want to kill David. They have carried our wives, they have carried our daughters, we're going to kill you. And he was so downcasted, he was so discouraged. He was so totally discouraged within himself, until he reminded himself, my soul, why are you so downcasted? So your daughter has to be able to learn that too for life. Because there'll be times, I tell my teenagers back home, I'm saying, you know what, 3 a.m., what do you want to call? Even if you have people that are close, that this, that, this. But 3 a.m., and then it's really pressing on you. It's really, if you call, the person's phone is not reachable, what are you going to do? 3 a.m. So you see why this kindness and grace to one side is very important. So at least to pull you through that period of discouragement. And why is this important for someone that wants to do purpose? I'll tell you why. See, on this purpose journey, there are times that you will feel like, I don't want to do anything again. And then everybody's thinking that you are there fired up. But you within yourself, you know that you are really down and out. This is where this will help you. Self-kindness, self-grace. If you need to take a break, if you need to do whatever to be able to move on, teach your daughter. So that time will come when, if she has been scoring 80s in her maths, in her English, and the day comes and then she scores 40, yes, it's a possibility, anything can happen. So she doesn't go, oh, everything is over. And then she begins to think that is the end. And then you begin to go into what you should not go into. Self-kindness. Let her extend it. Grace. I said to myself, that grace that you give people, begin to give yourself to. I had to personally say that to myself. That grace that you make for people, that kindness that you extend to people, that grace, extend it to yourself too. So your teenager on this part too, they have to know this on time. Why? For the times when they will fail. That's why. So that they're not so hard on themselves. So that they're not so harsh, they're not too harsh on themselves. So that when they fail, they can pick themselves up again. Because the time of failures will come. Of course, I know you know. The time of failure will come on this purposeful living thing. The times of failure will come. The time when they will feel inadequate will come. The time when they will feel like I'm not even making any difference. I'm not even making DDD. I'm not. Nobody's even seeing what I am doing. Nobody's even seeing my effort. Those times will come. If not now, but if you're grooming them well, the time will come so that when those times comes, they will remember this and say, okay, you know what? Okay. Can I be calm with myself? Can I love myself? Can I just calm down? Is very important because that is when it's when they are refreshed. When they have dragged themselves from whatever it is that was eating at them, that's when they can begin to move again. Otherwise, they get stuck. Why do you think people start, laudable projects and somewhere along the line they stop? Have you ever wondered? The person was busy going, then suddenly he stops. Have you wondered? This is what was lacking. This self-kindness, this grace. The person just thinks, what is it, self? What am I even doing, self? What is it, self? Nobody's even whatever, self. And in this social media era, everybody's living for likes and comments and what's that other thing that they're looking for, subscription and all of that, those other things. So nobody's even seeing it. What that means I'm not even, then all of the self-doubt, all of the whatever begins to eat back to back. This is what is lacking. So that's why I said let them begin to be able to build that now. When they don't perform to their own expectations of themselves, they can take it easy on themselves and know that they are still a work in progress. Because each and every one of us, that is what we really are in the true sense of it. Work in progress. We're not there yet. We're just moving. But what we're trying to do is that we're getting better. We're not supposed to be stuck. We're supposed to be getting better. We're supposed to be getting better. So that is very, very important. Self-kindness and grace. The next thing, they say, know thyself. Know thyself. Anyone that will do purposeful living must know himself. You don't, what I mean by self-knowledge, that's what I call self-knowledge. This is where you don't lie to yourself. This is where you look at yourself, the one they call naked and unashamed. This is when you look at yourself like, this is me. This is my strength. This is my weakness. This is what I'm struggling with. This is where I need help. Know yourself. Because see, it's until you are healed. That's when you can heal somebody. I hope you know. It's until you are healed. That's when you can heal somebody. So, this self-knowledge will reveal you to you. The things that you have not been able to accept about yourself. This is the time to accept it. If you're going to be doing purposeful living, if you're going to be doing anything that is worth listening to, you're going to know yourself. You're going to know yourself beyond who you think. There's a perception in our head that this is who I think I am, but there's really who we really are. So you begin to teach and you know what? These things will not jump on you in a day. It is a process. It is a process. So begin to teach your teenage girls to learn to know themselves. For example, there's some things that I wasn't sure that people that are in my corner are capable of doing until they did, and I begin to, oh really? So that's some sort of self knowledge, and even you do some things you're like, am I capable of doing this? So know yourself beyond what you think, beyond who you think you are. Everyone thinks, oh, I'm the best, I'm this, I'm that, I'm that. But really, when the stakes are down, what are those things that, who am I really? So that why do you know why it's important? So that if there's an area that you need to get help, you can get it. If there's an area that you need to get, you can, so that you don't truncate your own journey by yourself. For example, if you are someone that is prone, there's some people that they are so angry. When they're angry, reason can't reach them. No one can reach them. So if you're like that, you should know that you need to get help. Because as a leader, as someone doing purpose, you can't be angry like that. Or you just scatter everything that you have used your hand to work for. That's it. Can't be angry like that. And some people, they are so, that's just an example, the one that readily comes to my mind now. A whole lot of other things. And then they begin to what's that cosmetic surgery thing, you begin to just put pile layers and layers and layers on it without really digging deep. For example, I would not think that I'm capable of some things, and so that I don't shock myself. so that you don't shock yourself. Because see, this is the problem. If you don't deal with that thing now, whatever thing that you find out from knowing yourself, if you don't deal with it, that is the same thing that will not go and be your Achilles heel where you are going. That is the danger. That is the problem. That's the problem. It has happened over and over, over and over. Should we begin to remember big men, big head of corporations that they have done stuff that had to do with women, blah blah blah, because they didn't deal with them early on enough. So that is why this self. So if you know that, so that if your teenager knows that she's struggling with something, so that the two of you can get help together. That is the idea. That is the idea of this self-knowledge. And then you need to sit together with them. This is a journey of compassion. It's a journey of this self-knowledge is a journey of compassion. It's not a journey of judgment. It's not a journey of criticism. So whatever it is, get help. Why? Because she's doing purposeful living. She's going somewhere. She's going somewhere. Imagine she's going to be the head of a big conglomerate, and because of anger issues, she can't deal. So begin to work on those things. That is what self-knowledge will do for you. I've said like 5 things now. Number one, I said self-denial. Anyone that will do purposeful living has to. You don't have a choice. You don't have a choice. You have to deny yourself of pleasures, of what you really love. You have to. You can't afford to just be everywhere. You're not going to go anywhere. You're not going to, or rather, you're not going to go far. Let me do it that way. You're not going to, you might go somewhere, not far, not very far. Number two, I talked of self-appraiser. Number three, I talked of self-sabotage. Number four, I talked of self-regulation. I've talked of kindness and grace. This self-knowledge is very, very important. Let your teenager know herself. Then do you know? Do you know how much do you know your teenager? How much? There's some things that if not that I saw with my eyes, I wouldn't have believed that, oh, my daughter was capable of doing them. But now I know, and I begin to, okay, oh, so you can do this. Okay, then this is where I can help you. So that's why I say it's a journey of it's a journey of compassion. Self-knowledge is a journey of compassion. It's not where you begin to say, hey, how can you? How dare you? How can you? No. Your daughter is evolving. She hasn't gotten to where she's going. She's evolving. She's metamorphosing into an adult. So it's a journey of compassion. So the next thing that you want to do, that is very important. This one, there is no two ways to it, except you're not going to do anything. Self-development. Self-development. It is very, very important. Self-development is very important. You need to develop your girls. See, these things that we're saying, it looks like so is a joke until something happens, and then you find your girl absolutely clueless because there's nothing inside. Self-development. Girls will resist it. They will resist. They will resist it. They will. They will definitely, vehemently resist this development. Why? Because growth is hard. Please, if you are watching live, please, I like to put in the comment, growth is hard. Trust me, it is hard. Growth is hard. Growth is costly. Growth is hard. Growth is costly. But for anyone that will do purpose, for anyone that will do purposeful living, you don't have a choice. You don't have a choice. Except to just be like every other person, except to just be there. I don't just want to be there. At least let it be known that you tried. Let me know that she tried to make a difference. Growth is very, very hard. Tell your daughter, try this evening. Yeah? Tell them that, okay, between watching a movie and reading this book, which one are we going to pick? You know what they will pick now. Even me, even you. But because we know the costs, we'd rather shank that movie. Say, okay, maybe I can come back to this movie later. Self-development. It comes at heavy cost. And there's no how that you're going to do purpose without development. What do you want to dish out? What do you want to dish out? What do you want to say to them? When there's nothing, there's nothing really. There's nothing new. There's everything is just, my coach calls it fruits, low dangling fruits, no depth, so to say. So begin to, and they will resist. If they're younger, it's easier, maybe 9, 10, 11, young. If it is easier because they still want to be in your good graces, they still want to be in your good books. But the men to start reaching 13, 14, 15, hey, they are friends, they are phone. You will try, oh. You will really, really try. So begin now, self-development. Make it statutory. If I can use that word on this platform, make it at least in a month. Your daughter will read a self-development, at least one. We're currently on two, but we want to go higher. At least. See, the thing is this: you would not know that all of those things is going in them. But it's like foam. You know, when you put foam in water, when it has absorbed water, you will not know until you take it out and it begins to drip. So it's until situations come, until things happen, we begin to when the water begins to dish out from what is on our inside, you're gonna even you will be blown away. Trust me, you'll be blown away. But is it easy? It's not easy. Self-development is hard. Growth is hard. Growth is costly. It is easy to just put my legs down and not. It is easy. I had 7 videos to do today and I was wondering, how am I going to do this? So sometimes you just want to shut everything down. So it will give in to that pleasure, to that desire. But that's why it will not get anything done. It will not achieve anything. And then we'll be living under productive lives. We'll be living under, the full capacity that we can actually live to. So what are we gonna do? Let's help our girls. It starts with us. So what I do is this. I said to my girls, you know what? It's me and you. Together on this journey, we are together. This is what you are reading. This is the one that me I'm doing. At the end of the month, we'll come together, we'll do our review. So that everybody is looking, there's something to look forward to. So you have to help them in this regard. It will be hard, trust me. Oh. And if they use 2 months to read just one book, it's okay. It's fine. See, this is another thing that this thing is going to help you with. If your girls begin to self-develop on time, trust me, you will have less issues to contend with. At least I don't have a full-blown teenager yet, but I have seen people that have applied these principles that have teenagers, and I see the difference. I clearly see the difference. I am serious. Because you know what, there's a mind. Don't forget, I said it a long time ago that the only thing you seek to achieve with your teenage girl is a mind shift. So the mind is the mind is um the mind is rich. Let me use that word. The mind is not mundane. So the mind is not thinking of one boy in one corner to go and meet, touch the breast. The mind is not thinking of. He's not thinking of what other girls are thinking. Why? Because there are higher things, there are higher goals in the mind, and is a conscious programming. How we should understand? It's a conscious, deliberate, intentional programming. So that even when boys of talk, when talks of boys rather wants to even enter, it is what you both will sit down together and have intelligent conversations around. So it will not be sneaky. Do you understand what I am saying? Because she has come to understand that, hey, I don't have to hide, I can have these conversations, or this is what if I need guidance, I can ask. That is what self-development will do to the mind of your girl. That's what it's going to do. So please, dear parents, I beg you on this one, no matter how hard it is. And no, I'm not saying that they're going to, just boom, one day like that. But let us try. Let us try. Let us try. Let's try. I've said this over and over and over. Can we have girls that they think of other things aside how to fix? I don't know whether you have seen. I have seen that. I'm worried. When you see young girls now, everything you see is false lashes, everything heavily made up, the longest nails ever that even adults are not doing. What's all of that? Am I saying false lashes is bad? No, that's not what I am saying. I am just saying that young girls don't need false lashes in that way. Rather, young girls should be thinking of what to put in their mind. What is all of that for? It starts from the mind. What is there in the mind? What are they thinking? What is the quality of thought that the mind is producing? What is the quality of thoughts? The other time we're playing a game, yeah? And then in this family bonding game, and then in one of the cards asked the question to one of the girls to say that what is that thing that you are sad about? And then she goes, and I think it was my daughter or the other cousins, and then one of them goes, when I see people that are begging, my heart breaks. I didn't express surprise. I didn't express anything. When they say this to you, just do as though you hear it every day. And I said, whoa. But somewhere in my mind, I knew that came from a place of mind development, of empathy. So that is the point I'm trying to make. Let your teenage girl build their mind. Build them so that they will forget. Sometimes I forget that Okay, I'm not even going to go into that conversation. So please develop their mind. It will help you. That's why you. It will help you when. So let me imagine the scenario now that the mind of a girl is richly built, and a boy is coming to bring nonsense. The first thing is gonna she's gonna ask the boy is that okay, what do you think? What do you see yourself doing? Or what difference do you think you see yourself making? The quality of conversation, the quality of thought definitely will be different. And what do you do? Just, silence and deliberate programming. Drop books around the house. That's what I do. Everywhere. There is book everywhere for me. I've been doing that for the past 3 years now. Everywhere there is book. So you see something to pick. It will interest you. It will not interest you. But now I see that the struggle has reduced. The struggle to read has reduced. The struggle to read has reduced. And as it is reduced, I'm seeing the quality of thought that it is producing. And as it is producing it, I am happy to do more. I'm encouraged to do more. So I encourage us to do the same. Please, let's help our girls. Let's help them. Because see, there's a tsunami coming. There's a big one coming for girls. For girls that the only thing they will think of is how they look. For girls that the only thing they think of is what everything ends, starts and ends there. There's a big tsunami coming for them. Our girls don't want to be caught in it. All right. So the next thing to do, yeah, another guide to purposeful living for a teenage girl is this self-time gauge. Yeah, I will explain what I mean by it. Self-time gauge. Self-time. To time yourself. As I'm timing myself. And I wish I had been timing myself 15 years back. I wish I'd been timing myself. Yes, growth is very hard, ma. Very, very hard. Growth is hard, growth is stressful, but growth is worth it. Ah, yeah, yeah. So I said self-time gauge. Self-time. And I said to myself, if I had known, maybe if I had been timing myself 20 years ago, I wouldn't be here. Do we get it? If I'd been timing myself 20 years ago, I wouldn't be here. And maybe because I now see the things I see in a different perspective, and I say, wow, can I make it different for my daughter? That is how I think. What I have missed, can I compress it? Can my daughter fly on it? That is how I think. That is how I think. What I missed, opportunities that I missed, can I compress it? Can my daughter fly with them? So self-time. So there's no time to be thinking that, it just occurs to me that is it occurred or occurs? It occurred to me, rather. It occurred to me that the other day I was like, when did we carry these kids on our hands? The day I gave birth to mine looks like yesterday on my hands. And I carried that in my hands. And now it's almost 10 years. And I'm like, whoops, 10 years gone. So that means in 10 years she's 20. So in that 20, what's she gonna be doing? That's how I think, and that's how I'm propelling her to think too. Self-time, time yourself. There's no time. I'm not saying that do everything. No, I'm just saying be exceptional at whatever you want to do and start early. My coach's daughter is 17, and then they just concluded resourceful teenagers conference, and I was watching a 17-year-old girl speak, and I was like, whoops, whoops, 17. So when my daughter is 17, what's going to happen? That's how I think. And then you begin to pass that sense of urgency into her because it really is urgent. It really is urgent. So there's no time to just be doing go. There's no time. There's no time. I have said it. People are priming their daughters to take over. I know. So things I've read. They are priming their daughters to take over. Okay, can we up our game? Can we try also? So that my daughter doesn't get into a stage of opportunity and then she's fidgeting because she cannot look at people. So that she doesn't get into a place and they're saying things contrary and she cannot speak up because she's afraid. Come on. Can we do better? So that sense of urgency, can we begin to sell it to them now? Let them understand that there's no time. So that she's not 14 and then she's clueless. She's not 15 and she's clueless. Self-time gauge. Anyone that must do purpose must constantly be on that self-time gauge. It's a gauge. It's a gauge. Already I'm gauging myself for the end of the year that by December, what it is that you're going to say that, okay, I spent this year doing. Self-time gauge. This is very important. Very, so whoever self, and don't forget that you are going to attract your likes. You're going to attract your likes. So when your daughter knows that she's on a self-time gauge, when she understands that there's time for every, I know that's why there's for every age your daughter gets to, there should be something synonymous with that age, so that you will know whether you've been sleeping, so that you know whether you run like 10 lions, so that you know whether you run whether you run like nobody's pursuing you. So you are the one that you know where you are standing, and then you're the one that you know what you need to do to move your daughter. You're the one that you know what you need to do to move your daughter. Don't forget, not everyone is sleeping. Trust me, not everyone is sleeping. Self-time gauge is very important for anyone that would purpose, so that we don't wake up suddenly the way we have woken up. Oh, some of us are woken up late. I'm not even going to lie. I'm not even going to pretend about that. But it's fine. At least we have woken up. At least we're awake now. But can we wake our daughters earlier? Can we wake them earlier? That is what this self-time is about. Not that your daughter is 12 and then she's clueless about basic things. Come on. Come on. Let them wake up early. The next thing, self-preservation. This is very important. This is very, very important. And it has to do with everything that has to do with preserving her mind, preserving her eyes, everything, preserving her body, everything that preservation is, self-preservation. Anyone that must do purpose must preserve themselves. You can't be everywhere, you can't be anywhere, you can't be easily as it's not everyone that will have the opportunity of entering you. The way we say it in Nigerian parlance. It's not everyone that will have the opportunity of entering you. Preserve yourself. Preserve your identity. Preserve your dignity. This is where you're going to be teaching your daughters that they have to understand early, so they will know that they're not just here for. They're not just here for play. So if every other person is doing it, they can't. Every other person is messing up, they can't. It's not pride. It's because of what? The purpose. It's not pride. It's not pride. The purpose. It is the purpose that will not let them. It is the purpose that will not let them be anyhow. Be everywhere. Go to every party. Everybody's having boyfriend, and you chatter the boyfriend. This is the latest trend. Jump on the trend. This is the latest challenge. Jump on the challenge. Come on, self-preservation will teach you that I can't be everywhere doing everything that everybody does. That is what self-preservation will teach. So please, if you are there, let me write in the comment section. Self-preservation is knowing that I can't be everywhere doing everything that everybody does. I can't. I can't. It's not pride. I can't. I can't. It's not pride. So that when you are derailing, you would know. Then you begin to know that you need to move back on track. But when it is everything that goes before, everything goes. Everything goes. Wear anything, dress anything, wear anything, do anything. So when you begin to now really derail, you're not gonna know, because it's you to just slide into it. Just slide into it and then begin to just, how are you gonna do purpose? So self-preservation is key. Self-preservation is key, and self-preservation is knowing that I can't be everywhere doing what everybody does. If this is the only thing you take away from this session, I think it's okay for me. Self-preservation is understanding that I can't be everywhere doing what everybody does. I can't. So don't raise girls to think that girls that will think that mommy, everybody's doing it. For example, now everybody comes with nose ring or belly ring or whatever, or all of the whatever it is. Everybody does it. Maybe where I am, everybody does it. So that everybody does it give me license? No. No. Everybody does this. Everybody does this. And that is why we are where we are. No one wants to set the pace to be different. Everybody wants to do what everybody's doing. But if you understand the concept of self-preservation, you're going to understand that I can't be everywhere doing what everybody is doing. Self-preservation. Teach it early. Teach it early now. It will save you this struggle of, hey, is she in the boy's house? Oh, what's she doing with the boy? It will save you. Teach it now. Teach it now. Teach it now. This concept, teach it early. To save you the issue of she's not in university. I don't know whether she's cohabiting with a boy, because that's what happens in universities. You know. So save it. Start teaching it early. Start teaching it now. From when they're finishing primary school, begin to teach it. Self-preservation. Then finally, self-care. This is very important. Care for self. Yesterday, I shut down completely. I did. Because I needed to just shut down. Self-care is very important. I don't know how to, if you don't care for yourself, you're going to break down and then you not do the purpose that you're supposed to do. I think it's that simple. If you allow your head to be too hot, ideas will not come in. And when the ideas don't come in, the things you need to do, you'll be able to do them. It's that simple. Self-care. Teach them early. So I've told the girls, I said, during when your holiday is here, we're going to go to a spa, we're going to do this. That's just a way to self-care, and they're looking forward to it. So imagine growing up like that. I didn't have that opportunity. I didn't. With all the love in my heart to my mom, I didn't. But can I do it now? Can I do it for my daughter? Yes. Will I? Yes. Self-care. So that when she becomes an adult, she knows how to continue what I have started. Care for yourself. Teach them to care for themselves. Do it together. It's fun. I have a guide, the mother and daughter bonding template. I think I'm going to put it on Seller and Amazon. You could get it there. So these are things that can help enhance the level of self-care, so that you don't grow up to become they don't get worn out on time. Many adults are worn out. Sometimes I feel worn out because we were not taught these things. We were not taught. I wasn't taught. If you were, bless you. I wasn't. I had to learn as an adult. And you know that relearning is hard, yeah? So it's better to teach it early. So for any girl that must do purpose, for any girl that must jump on this purpose train, there are many, so many. But I don't like to keep us beyond 1 hour. It's almost an hour. That's why I picked the one that I feel that the most salient. But it's coming, all of this I've just talked about is coming together in a guide. And it's gonna be on Seller, it's gonna be on Amazon. I'll just rush through it. I said self-denial, self-appraiser, self-sabotage, self-regulation, self-kindness and grace, self-knowledge, self-development, self-time gauge, self-preservation, and self-care. Anyone that must be on purpose, any girl that must be doing purpose has to have an understanding of these things and how to apply them. I hope that you have learned something. Thank you for always coming. I don't take your time for granted. For every time you come here, I do not take it for granted. And like I always say, if it's just one thing you're going to take away, take it, run. I believe in your journey and I am rooting for you. So watch out for these guides I've just mentioned. To be on Seller, to be on Amazon very soon. Yeah. So once again, my name is Funmilola Williams. I'm happy that you're here. Thank you for always joining me. And please, if you know any parents parenting a girl, tell them about Twitter Academy. We're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. And currently, there's a 50 days challenge going on Instagram. And there's something for you to learn for your teenage girl. I am rooting for you. Thank you so much and bye-bye.